Working on this car with my father is the main reason I've done it. It's the key. It's something I'll never ever forget, and something I'll always have. Hopefully my kids can take that car and do something with it as well. My name's Justin, I'm from Canberra ACT, and this is my 1964 EH Holden. So my first car is this EH, which my father bought for me in '96, I believe, which we paid $4,000 for. The condition of the car was fairly stock, just a standard 186 in it with a little 350 Holley carby. Yeah, we had a good foundation of a car to work with to start off with. So when I was 16, it was a daily driver for me. I used to drive it into Cooma, where I went to school. A lot of people laughed because I had such an old car. Around that time, it didn't seem to bother me because I thought, oh, one day I'll get to this and we'll turn it into something special. We had a detailing business and we took it into the shop there, and that's when we started to chop the car up. So we cut out pretty much all the inner guards, the firewall all got chopped out, and then started to get the sheet metal work done to redo the engine bay and firewall, and then it just, from there it goes through to the chassis work and then tub. So pretty much to get all the tin work done. So our aim for the car originally when we first talked about doing it was probably to just go to a top 60 spec, but me and Dad always wanted something with a bit better paint job. So we sent it down to Melbourne and had Trevor Davis work on the body and the paint, and he's come up with this beautiful paint colour. After it was painted, I spent nearly 3 months wet rubbing and polishing the car. It took us quite a while to get it nice and flat the way we wanted to. I've had a friend of ours, Sean, Trims by Sean, who's done all the upholstery for us. And yeah, it was done collectively with a lot of friends and a lot of help with getting the car to where it is. I never ever pictured having a car to this sort of level. I'd be happy with a nice street car, and that's all I ever wanted, and it's just one of those things where you just go, oh, I'll just make that a little bit better, and I'll make this a bit better, and this is what you come out with at the end, I guess. Engine bay of the EH, we have Holden 355. I decided to keep it Holden. I didn't want to go down the route of putting a Chev in it. So obviously originally had a 6-cylinder in it, and we just wanted more horsepower. So then we decided, well, to add more horsepower, you're going to have to add more air. So we put a Vortec V7 supercharger on it. A good mate of ours, Hogs from Performance Street Marine in Blacktown, built us this combo, which consists of a Holden VT block, which has been changed into a 4-bolt main. It's running a Cum billet crank, Corello rods and CP pistons. On top of that, it's a set of -9 Yellow Terra heads with a high-rise Cum manifold, obviously fed with the V7 Vortec supercharger. Behind that is a Race Glides Hugo built 2-speed power glide with a 4,500 TCE stall converter, and running down to the diff, it's just a 9-inch Ford Galaxy smoothback, 31 spline billet axles with 3.7 Richmond gears on a true track with a strange carrier. It's a pretty stout combo. It made just under 600 horsepower on pump fuel at the tyres on a soft tune, so I think it's still got a bit more in it, but 600 horsepower is plenty on the street. So obviously you can see there's no brake booster or master cylinder in the engine bay, so everything is underneath the dash. It has a pedal assembly that runs parallel with that. That way it just gives it a full clean look. You can't see any hoses, you can't see any wiring, nothing pretty much. The body is relatively standard. It just has all the badges removed, the fuel fillers removed. It has had an extensive amount of hours spent on body work to get it as straight as what it is. The wheels are a custom made set of intro hammers, running 18x7s on the front and 20x12s on the rear, running a 305/25/20 tyre. We're running 6-spot Willwoods front and rear with a 360 rotor at the front and a 340 rotor at the rear. So the rotors are actually bigger than the standard EH wheel size from factory. So in the interior we have a custom sheet metal dash which was made to look similar to a standard EH setup. It also has a sheet metal centre console. We're running VX Commodore seats that have been modified and a custom rear seat which had to be made to suit around the tub work. It's fairly basic but nice and tidy. Oh, when I first seen the car as it come out of the paint booth, we were ecstatic, and I thought that's really going to work with the chrome and stuff on this model car. They go hand in hand. It's painted in House of Colour. It's a brandy wine with a custom base coat, which was painted by Trevor Davis in Melbourne, and he has actually won the prestigious painter with this car in America. I don't think it'll ever date. I hope it won't, but to me it looks like it should stay like a pretty good colour combo for a long time. Owen Webb had a look at it and said that, I think it fits the category for the Street Elite. And so we unveiled it at Motorex in 2011. That was the first time the car got seen. The car got lots of fairly good rap, a lot of response, especially because it's a home-built car pretty much. It wasn't done by a shop. We probably showed the car realistically for about 2 or 3 years, and after we took it off the road for a little bit and off the show scene, due to my wife and myself having 2 new kids, and we also bought a house. So the car just sort of got put on the back burner. So we're in the midst now of getting a thing back together, and we just took it to the last Summernats 32, and had a really good weekend there. We come away with a top 20. We also qualified for Maguire's Superstars again. So that's the 3rd time we've qualified for Superstars. So we were over the moon with that. It's amazing. It's definitely reinvigorated us for sure. We're hanging to try and get to more shows and try and get to some shows that we can drive it and get the car out there so people can see it, that it actually does move and it's not just sitting on a display. We're in the process of building an EJ sedan, which we've had probably for nearly as long as this EH. Just a good high 600 horsepower small block going in it with a turbo 400, like 9-inch rear end setup, but more street duties than original looking car. The feeling of driving it is amazing, and that's really what you build them for. As pretty as it is, and some people build them to win trophies or whatnot. Me and my dad just built this purely out of love for EHs and cars, and hopefully, to actually get out there and really stick it to it now. That's the plan, is to drive it.